Hi guys, I'm back again today with another video. Excuse me. Okay. And today we're checking out why the North Sea is one of the world's deadliest water. The comments from the last video was crazy because some people were like, "Yes, I've experienced. I'm actually in the North Sea right now." I'm like, shut up and go home, right? What are you doing? I know you're working, but go home. So, anyways, uh, it's very intriguing because don't count me in. Don't count me in. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be there. It's scary. It's just crazy. Look at the color of that water, right? It's not. I like calm waters, and that one is not calm. It's kind of like boiling. It's not hot, but it feels like it's constantly boiling, like it's moving because of the waves, and the waves are also very high. But we're gonna see. I don't know if we're gonna understand technically like the terms, but we'll figure it out. So before we do start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell buttons, and let's see. Look at that!
The North Sea has crushed wooden warships, shattered steel hulls, and swallowed entire fleets without warning.
Oh my!
For centuries, it's been a battlefield, a shipping lane, and an industrial frontier, all rolled into one. It's where rival powers fought for control, where oil platforms buckled under storms, and where submarines stalked convoys in near silence. Its seabed holds more wrecks than most oceans. Fishing boats still pass over them, often without knowing what lies just beneath. This isn't just a body of water, it's a witness to invasions, wars, disasters, and decades of political tension. And it remains just as relevant now as it was during the Age of Sail or the Cold War. We're about to look at what makes the North Sea one of the most important, dangerous, and heavily used seas on the planet.
Oh,
The North Sea sits in a tight pocket of northwestern Europe, bordered by the United Kingdom to the west and the coasts of Norway, Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France to the east and south. Its southern limit is
mm.
marked by the Strait of Dover and the English Channel. In the
So
north,
this
it
is where
connects
we
to the
are
Norwegian
located.
Sea and, beyond that, to the Atlantic Ocean. But it also links eastward via the Skagerrak and Kattegat Straits to the Baltic
The
Sea.
Baltic
It covers an
Sea.
area of about 570,000 square kilometers, making it one of the smaller marginal seas of the Atlantic. Despite its size, it has an outsized impact on European
It's
weather,
crazy. Look
economy,
at that.
and maritime infrastructure.
It's like it's very furious or something. Like the sea. This is like the angriest sea I've seen. Like, look at that. It doesn't even look like a sea. It just looks like I don't know, like a mountain is about to erupt.
The sea is relatively shallow. Most of its southern basin sits at
It's
depths between
shallow.
30 and 50 meters. The
Wow.
deepest parts lie in the north, particularly the Norwegian Trench, which reaches down to around 725 meters. These depth differences shape everything from storm behavior to where ships can safely travel.
I
The North
see.
Sea is not a uniform body of water.
I see.
It's a layered and segmented system. Maritime nations divided into exclusive economic zones. Pipelines cross its floor, and its shallow shelf is dotted with platforms and wrecks. It's a sea that has
Mm.
been shaped as much by politics and engineering as by geology.
Wait, some
The North
storms
Sea
on.
has a reputation for rough water, and it's earned it. Storms here aren't rare, they're part of the climate. Prevailing westerly winds from the Atlantic funnel into the basin, especially during autumn and winter. Because the
Mm.
North Sea is shallow, averaging around 90 meters, it doesn't absorb wave energy the way deeper oceans do. Instead, wind-driven waves build quickly and hit harder. In severe storms, wave heights can exceed
Oh,
20 meters. The North Sea sits in the path of
20
frequent
meters
low-pressure systems. These systems,
too
combined with high
too
tides
high.
and strong winds, create ideal conditions for storm surges. The most
Mm.
devastating of these occurred in 1953, A powerful North Sea surge overwhelmed coastal defenses in the
Essex.
Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and Belgium. More than 2,500 people were killed, thousands of
Oh.
homes destroyed, and vast tracts of land were flooded. It was a wake-up call for modern coastal
Mm.
defense planning.
So did we fix it? Like,
On the German coast, the 1962 North Sea flood caused massive damage in Hamburg after storm waters breached dikes along the Elbe River. Over 300 people died, and large areas of the city were submerged. The disaster reshaped emergency management policies in West Germany and led to major upgrades in flood protection systems.
yeah.
In general, the southern and southeastern coasts, such as those in the Netherlands, Germany, and Denmark, are more prone to flooding. That's
Mm-hmm.
because they sit at or below sea level and lack natural barriers. In contrast, the British and Norwegian coasts are more elevated, but still vulnerable to extreme wave activity. The North Sea's tidal patterns are another factor. Along the coast of eastern England and up through the German Bight, tidal ranges can exceed 7 meters. These tides interact with the sea's topography, generating strong currents and contributing to complex wave behavior. Weather conditions can shift rapidly: calm one hour, stormy the next. Fog,
Oh.
sleet, heavy rain, and strong winds are all regular features, especially in colder months. Mariners working offshore rigs or shipping routes between Rotterdam, Hamburg, and the North Atlantic have to navigate not just distance, but constantly changing sea
I'm
states.
looking at that, I'm like,
Satellite data and
no.
radar have improved forecasting, but the sea's unpredictability remains a serious challenge. For commercial vessels, fishing
Hmm.
boats, and even naval operations, the North Sea is never routine. Every crossing carries risk.
I was gonna ask, like, is it even necessary to pass here? Like, unless you are going to, like, from the shore to those s- places. What do you call them? Like the oil thingy, and then that building that we saw. Like, unless you're going to one of them to do something, you shouldn't pass here ever.
The
Okay,
North
history.
Sea's history is written not just in battles or treaties, but in wrecks, shipping records, and shifting borders. It has been crossed, contested, and guarded for centuries, and still is today. Early tribes crossed its waters in simple boats, trading amber, tin, and furs along the coasts. The Romans called it Mare Germanicum and used it to reach Britain, but compared to what came later, those early movements were small in scale. By the 17th century, the North Sea had become a strategic zone, fought over by rising European powers. The Dutch Republic,
for
England,
the
Denmark, and
for the
Sweden
oil.
all understood one thing: whoever controlled these waters controlled trade in Northern Europe. During the Dutch
Oh,
Golden Age, the Netherlands built one of the
the
largest
trade.
merchant fleets in the world. Dutch ships dominated the North Sea, carrying goods between the Baltic, the Atlantic, and colonies abroad. But this success made them a target. The Anglo Dutch wars of the 17th and 18th centuries were fought partly over these shipping routes. Battles like the
Oh,
4 Days Battle and the Battle of Texel took place on these waters, not far from where container ships pass today. In the 19th century, Britain's naval supremacy extended across the North Sea. The Royal Navy maintained dominance, and ports like Hull, Grimsby, and Newcastle became critical to global commerce. The sea also turned into one
oh,
of the
look at
world's
those
richest fishing
fishy.
grounds, especially for herring. Tensions escalated as industrial
But I'm
fleets pushed
sorry.
farther out, sometimes into disputed zones, triggering diplomatic standoffs and even minor clashes at sea. The North Sea was no longer just a corridor, it was an arena. Coastal nations expanded their naval presence, mapped the seabed, and monitored one another closely. And just as
Okay.
steamships replaced sail and guns got larger, a new era of conflict was approaching. In the 20th century, the North Sea stopped being a stage for rival merchants and became something else entirely: a war zone where silence meant submarines and steel meant ships that didn't return.
Famous. Do I know about this?
The North Sea has never been forgiving. From the age of sail to offshore oil, thousands of ships have met their end here, caught by
Mm.
storms, sandbanks, enemy fire, or mechanical failure. One of the earliest notable losses was the
Oh, it's
Mary
always
Rose, a Tudor
July.
warship that sank.
Guys, if like natural disaster or like bad things in general, and most of the crimes in the world, they always happen in July. No. So people like us who are born in July, we probably are disasters or something to this world. Because I notice I love watching crime investigation or like crazy things because she's clearly crazy. So I noticed that. I was like, why is it that the killer is either born in July or the unaliving happened in July or this natural disaster happened in July? Like at this rate, the end of the world is gonna be in July, okay? So don't trust all these people who are telling you like it's 2020, it's 2010 and blah blah blah. If they don't say July, then ignore. So I asked ChatGPT like, hey, AI, creepy person, thing, can you tell me why like all the bad things happen in July? It's like, oh, it's summer, so people have time. And I didn't ask about natural disaster though. I asked about specifically unaliving because it a lot. I said, yeah, makes sense. I was like, it doesn't make sense. But anyways, you do your research too because just July is not like because of that. Every July, I don't want to plan anything. I just want to stay home and just be home. Like I'm not trying to go anywhere in July, okay? Because it's crazy out there. So do your research.
One of the earliest notable losses was the Mary Rose, a Tudor warship that sank in
I've heard of it.
1545 during the Battle of the Solent. While the wreck lies south of the English Channel, her story is inseparable from the North Sea naval arms race of the 16th century. Built during the Age of Discovery, she reflects the shift toward larger, more heavily armed warships designed for dominance in northern waters. In 1703, during the Great Storm, one of the worst ever recorded in the British Isles, the HMS Stirling Castle, a 70-gun third-rate ship of the line, was lost on the Goodwin Sands off Kent. More than 200 crew members died. The area has claimed over 2,000 vessels through the
Oh
centuries,
my,
earning it the name the
2000.
Ship Swallower.
Oh,
Steam
why do
power
people
didn't
go on
eliminate
it?
the risks. In 1895, the SS Elbe, a German ocean liner, collided with another ship in fog and sank in the North Sea, killing over
Oh, shoot.
330 people. It was one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters of its era, highlighting the navigational dangers that still plague the sea, even with modern engines and iron hulls. The 20th century brought two world wars and turned the North Sea into a battlefield. During World War I, the Battle of Jutland in 1916 left dozens of British and German warships on the seabed off Denmark. HMS Queen Mary, Invincible, and Indefatigable were blown apart by shellfire and sank rapidly. On the German side, the SMS Lützow and others were lost. These wrecks lie deep, mostly untouched, seen only by military divers and robotic surveys.
What are those?
In World War II, the North Sea turned into a vast minefield and submarine hunting ground. While the Atlantic campaign grabs most headlines, hundreds of ships were sunk here as well.
Oh,
German U-boats targeted merchant convoys between Britain, Norway, and continental Europe. Over 1,000 merchant vessels were lost across the European theater, and a significant number of those went down in or near the North Sea. Allied warships were no safer. Mines, torpedoes, and surprise attacks near the English Channel, Dutch coast, and North Sea ports claimed
mm,
dozens. Many smaller vessels, coasters, trawlers, and supply ships were lost without fanfare. Some are still discovered today, decades later, by fishermen or survey crews. In 1979, the Aeolian Sky, a Greek freighter, collided with another vessel in thick fog and sank off Sussex, scattering cargo across the
Sussex.
seabed, including brand new Land Rovers and banknotes. The wreck is now a site of interest for divers. In 1980, the Alexander L. Keeland, a semi-submersible oil platform in the Norwegian Ekofisk field, capsized during a storm. A fatigue crack in one of its legs caused the structure to fail, killing 123
Oh,
workers. It
oh
remains
my.
one of the worst offshore disasters in history, and a brutal reminder that even fixed platforms are vulnerable in the North Sea. In March 1987, the Herald of Free Enterprise capsized shortly after leaving a Belgian port en route to Dover. The bow doors had been left open, allowing water to flood the car deck. The ship overturned in minutes. 193 people died. Though the
Oh,
disaster technically occurred just outside the North Sea, it sent shockwaves through the maritime world and led to major changes in ferry design and safety regulations. From wooden warships to steel oil rigs, the North Sea has always demanded respect. Its wrecks are not just maritime history, they're political, industrial, and personal tragedies. Many remain unexplored, resting silently under layers of silt,
it's
testimony to the sea's
crazy.
long and dangerous legacy.
It's crazy what you can find. 30 feet. Is it 30 feet? I don't know.
The North
30
Sea doesn't belong to
something
one country. It's bordered by eight: the United Kingdom,
meters.
Norway, Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, France,
30,000.
and even parts of Sweden have stakes in it. For most of history, these waters were open to anyone strong enough to use them. But by the mid 20th century, that changed. The turning point came after World War II, when oil and gas exploration gained momentum. Suddenly, the seabed had real value, and nations wanted to define what was theirs. By the 1960s, disputes broke out over where offshore boundaries should lie. The North Sea had to be carved up. The solution came through a series of bilateral agreements backed by evolving international law.
I
In
don't even know how
particular,
you can
the
find your
1958 Geneva Convention on the
I don't even know how you can find your piece of land on. I know they have machines, Rookie, to figure it out. On land, it makes sense. But in water, how do you figure it out? Like, oh, this is mine. And I'm like, it's just the same. It's the same. My water goes to your side of the water. Your water comes into my side. What are you talking about? So you're telling me like countries own play how do where does my part of the sea end and where does yours start? I don't understand.
continental shelf, and later, the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea gave coastal states rights to the seabed up to 200
I know
nautical
the
miles
seabed
from their
rule,
shores,
but
or to the midpoint between them in narrow seas
how?
like
How do
this
I
one.
know?
Today, the North Sea is divided into clearly defined exclusive economic zones. Within their exclusive economic zones, countries control fishing, drilling, wind farms, and environmental policy. Most of the legal boundaries were finalized by the 1970s. For example, the UK and Norway agreed on a median line in 1965, allowing oil exploration to begin without conflict. Fishing rights have been one of the most contentious issues. The European Union's Common Fisheries Policy dictated how fish stocks in the North Sea were shared among member states for decades.
Mm.
After Brexit, the United Kingdom and European Union had to renegotiate access, leading to tensions between British and European fishing
How
fleets,
did we figure it
particularly
out?
around the Shetlands and English Channel. Military access is more straightforward. Under international law, surface ships and submarines are allowed to pass through North Sea waters under innocent passage. But naval exercises and military installations, especially from NATO countries, remain a sensitive point, particularly in areas close to Russia's sphere of interest. Environmental policy is a growing area of cooperation. Bodies like the Oslo-Paris Convention coordinate efforts between North Sea states to reduce pollution, protect marine habitats, and monitor industrial activity. Still, enforcement varies. Some parts of the sea remain heavily exploited by fishing, shipping, or energy, while others are seeing new marine reserves and conservation zones.
Mm.
The North Sea today is less of a battlefield and more of a patchwork, each country operating in its own zone, with shared responsibilities in navigation, ecology, and safety. The legal boundaries are mostly settled, The negotiations now are over what happens within them.
Okay. Oil and gas.
The discovery of oil in the North Sea changed the region permanently.
1860s.
Until the 1960s, the seabed was seen mainly as a source of fish. That changed when geologists confirmed what some had long suspected. The sedimentary basins beneath the sea held significant reserves of oil and natural gas.
It's
In
amazing.
1965, the first gas field was discovered off the coast of the Netherlands. A few years later, the Ekofisk oil field was found in Norwegian waters. It was a turning point. Drilling rigs quickly followed. By the 1970s, offshore platforms were rising out of the sea, and a new phase of industrialization began. Britain and Norway emerged as the main beneficiaries. Both had large exclusive economic zones and favorable geology. The British Brent Field, discovered in 1971, became one of the most productive in the entire region. Its name, Brent, later came to define the global benchmark for crude oil
Brent.
pricing. Operating in the North Sea wasn't easy. The weather was severe. Winter storms battered platforms, high waves and icy winds made even routine maintenance dangerous. But the technology kept improving. Floating rigs, subsea pipelines, and remotely operated vehicles allowed companies to drill deeper and farther from shore. At its peak in the late 1990s, the North Sea was producing around 6 million barrels of oil per day.
Wow.
The revenue transformed national budgets. Norway established a sovereign wealth fund, the largest in the world today, based on oil profits. The United Kingdom also benefited, though it spent most of the earnings directly. Natural gas was another major success. Undersea pipelines connected offshore fields to mainland Europe. The Langered
Crazy.
pipeline, stretching from Norway to the UK, is one of the longest in the world.
I don't even
Today,
know
the
how,
North Sea remains a key supplier
like,
of
my brain, because my brain is just like in its own bubble, it doesn't fathom the fact that how the fudge do human beings figure all this out? And what was I doing when it was happening too, right? Like, I was just like, what? It's crazy.
gas to the European Union, especially as countries shift away from Russian imports. But production is declining. Many fields are maturing, and output has been falling steadily since the early 2000s. Decommissioning old platforms is now a growing industry in itself. Removing or safely retiring these massive steel
That's
structures
a
takes time,
it's a lot of
money,
work.
and coordination. At the same time, the North Sea is being reimagined
Your
as an
life is
energy
in the line
hub,
too.
not just for
On the
oil,
line.
but for renewables. Offshore wind farms are expanding rapidly,
Oh.
especially off the coasts of the UK, Germany, and Denmark. Some former oil platforms are being repurposed as
I just
maintenance
remember
bases
the
or converted into carbon storage
video.
sites.
You guys know
Still,
the video
oil and gas remain central.
about
In
the
2022, Russia's
windmills.
invasion of Ukraine pushed European energy security back into focus. Suddenly, the old wells of the North Sea didn't seem so expendable. Drilling permits increased, exploration returned. Some countries extended the life of fields that were due to shut down. The North Sea's oil boom may be fading, but it's far from over. Its infrastructure, engineering expertise, and strategic value still shape energy policy across Northern Europe. The North Sea has shaped economies, borders, and entire chapters of European history. It's been a trade route, a battlefield, a graveyard of ships, and now, a hub of offshore energy and surveillance. From the rivers that feed it to the nations that rely on it, the North Sea is tightly woven into the story of Northern Europe. Its coastlines support millions through ports, tourism, and fisheries. Beneath its surface lie cables, pipelines, and wrecks. Some still dangerous, some part of the record of two world wars. The sea isn't calm or gentle, but it remains essential, not just for those who live beside it, but for the broader continent. As Europe shifts toward renewable energy and greater maritime security, the North Sea's importance isn't fading, it's changing.
Mm.
If you found this
No,
video informative, subscribe to the channel. There's more coming on tragedies.
I did find it. Oh, one Bering Sea, one of the Earth's most violent waters. Okay, maybe not for next time. That was very informative. Like I just knew about the North Sea like a day, a week ago, let's just say. And then now we know a lot more. And if there's other things that I missed and you want me to know about, or other places that you want me to know about, let me know down in the comment. Very interesting because I thought I knew everything, and then kaboom, you guys surprised me with something else. Like, Rookie, did you know that there is North Sea? And I'm like, I know there is east, west, north, south, but no. I don't know anything. So if there's other things that you want me to check out, let me know down in the comments because we don't know anything. And it will be I cannot speak English. And it will be fun and exciting and interesting to know about other things that exist that I didn't know about. So you guys educate me. Thank you. Let me know the video name in the comments that you want me to check out. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.